A long time ago, years and years ago, in a land and time far away from here, I was once 21 years old. And at the time, I thought I could do any job. I was trying to look for a career path that could pay me a little more money, and I thought I could do anything in the world, except for sales. As long as it isn't sales, I'll be happy, because I sure as hell am not going to fucking do sales. And that went on from when I was 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and that thought was still in my mind, and yet, what did I end up taking? A sales job. It did, however, have one of the biggest impacts on me out of anything I have ever done. So now I think if you want to have discipline, drive, and focus, you either do 100% commission sales or join the military. Your choice. And so this is how I ended up in that position, where I ended up in a career that I despised ever having in my life, thinking that it would have no use in my life, and it ended up being one of the biggest, ended up having one of the biggest impacts on my life and vision for my future. So let's go back in time. I was attending college, working a job at the college as well as an audio-visual tech. And it was fantastic. There was all this downtime, I could draw and write, and I was getting paid to do it. I was getting paid to just sit around and watch cable television until the phone rang and a teacher needed help pushing a button on a computer or figuring out why their PowerPoint didn't have sound. You idiots, you need to have your audio files on your flash drive with you because they're not embedded in the PowerPoint. They're linked. Never mind. Anyways, so I was working this job. It was great. And really, when I look back on it, it's no one's fault but my own. Despite the great people I was working with, I myself, however, was not growing at all as a person. I was being stagnant. I was being complacent in where I was. I looked at the people that I admired, that I wished I could strive to be like. I looked at them and thought their success only came by luck. Of course they worked hard, but in the end it was always down to luck. Just getting lucky. Knowing the right people at the right time. I thought, well, it really didn't matter how hard I worked. I may never, ever see any success in the path I wish to take. It wouldn't matter how much I drew or how good my skill was. I may never see any success on it. And that thought was always in the back of my mind, and that's why I just said, I'm always going to have to keep this job on the side because I'm probably never going to make success there. I just have to accept that fact that it might never happen, ever. And to be honest, it hasn't happened yet, but I still see it happening now more than ever. Okay, so the reality is, yes, you do have to work hard, but you have to work smart too. Looking back at myself all those years ago, I can tell you one thing. I did not have the right work ethic. I did not have the right attitude either. Here I am at this point, working at a college during the day, taking classes throughout the week, and I worked at a grocery store at midnight as a stock boy. So there are days where I maybe get 3 hours of sleep, or no sleep at all. And yet I still did not have the right work ethic or attitude when it came to my own apparent skills. So let's break it down right here, since the numbers get jumbled up in my head. There are 168 hours in a week. 56 hours of that was for sleep, ideally. 60 hours of work on average, and 24 hours of classes. I had 28 hours of homework time. Is there any free time in there? Fuck no. It was get in, get out, get to the next place. It was like drag racing. There could not be any wasted movements of playing video games or movies or going out with friends during that semester, during those next 2 semesters. And I still did not have the right work ethic. Even though I was passing my classes, I was doing well at my jobs. I didn't recognize it at the time, but really what I was doing was thinking short term. Gotta get that money. Gotta pay those bills. Gotta pay off that debt. Gotta buy some presents for the friends and family. And then my car breaks down and then I have to borrow money from my friends and family to pay off the damages to the car, only to have the car break down later after I'm done paying off my friends. And so I have to borrow from my friends again, pay them back, car breaks again, school supplies, you get the picture. So let's go 3 years after I quit that grocery store job. I'm still working at the college. I'm 24, going on to 25. I'm out of college. I got my associate's degree in art for advertising, as good as that did me. Really, I'm still lacking drive. I'm still lacking focus. I was so easily distracted. It was fucking sick. I was spending way too much time with recreational things.
It's like you get to play the games on a CD. 64 simultaneous colors, 12.5 megahertz processor. Holy shit, this thing is total fucking garbage.
All the while my supposed skills and talents were remaining stagnant or growing at a snail's pace at best. And looking back on it, looking back on myself, I was a loser, a failure. If anything, I was mediocre at best. I was everything that people said I was, a loser. And so next thing that happened is that, well, I met my fiance and we ended up moving to Leroy, Michigan. It's not a joke anymore. It's just a verbal tick that I can't get rid of. And it's funny though. Before I moved, I of course wanted to find a job there so I could have some kind of income coming in after I move. So it boggles me how people can complain about not finding a job anywhere. But I remember some of my in-laws were saying that it's going to be so hard finding a job out in Cadillac, Michigan. You're not going to find a job at all. I found one in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. I found a job. And then, a week after I took that job, I got an interview for another job. And I took that one instead because it was closer to home. Go figure. So anyways, I moved out to that place in Michigan that I won't speak the name of because it only comes out one way. I moved out there, and it was me and my fiance living on our own in his stepbrother's house, who we were renting from. Living in a basement. It sucked. I got a job at Walmart as a stock boy, once again. So I busted my ass down to stock boy Andy, rather than AV Tech Andy.
Yeah, life is great. Life is great. I'm doing what I love and making a living of it. That was nice. That was a nice stream. Hi, I'm Andy. Stock boy Andy. That's me, everybody. Stock boy Andy.
So I worked midnights at Walmart and took any job I could come across during the day because I knew it would bring in more money. So I ended up with a sawmill job on the side during the days. Here I am, busting my ass, breaking my back for $7.60 an hour, and then going off and making $8 an hour at a sawmill. Yeah, it's funny how a family-owned sawmill business paid me better than Walmart, even if it was a little bit shoddy. I remember doing a budget for us, and after gas, food, bills, we had a whopping $200 a month between both our incomes. Between the two of us, $200 a month. to spend on anything else, which is insane when you think about it, because if anything were to go wrong, like, I don't know, a car needs a fixing, like a tie rod or even a tire, you're just SOL, shit out of luck. And yet, I still lacked the focus and drive that I needed to have in order to even have any chance at getting ahead anywhere else. Because what would really happen is, after I'm done working so hard, I would have to come home and relax. Of course, I'm not just gonna go home and start working right away. I just got done working. Why would I work more? Oh yeah, I'll get some of those projects done. Just let me play some Aliens vs. Predator first. And so really there was no chance for either of us getting out of that shitty rat race. And it just blew chunks. I had all these doubts in my mind from these naysayers going off in my head, whether it came from friends or family or whatever. The reality was, we were on the road to nowhere. Fast forward 50, 60 years from now, if I stayed on that position, where would I have been? I'd be a mediocre artist with mediocre life, mediocre everything. Those ideas of having a new car, a new house, a retirement, influence, nothing but a dream. Shit that I wish I could have had. Destined to be some ordinary old man who's bitter at the world and only complains about how the man kept us down. Those overprivileged rich kids, and oh, those people just got lucky and mommy and daddy catered them. That's how they got there. And on a quick side note, I do support the 99%. Do some research and you'll know why. So like I said, we were on the road to nowhere, and I thought, well, things are going to work out on its own. Sure, as long as I keep putting in the effort, if you want to call it that, and not doing anything different, sure, things will work out in the long run. I'm sure I'll find some success here and there. It'll be great. I did not know how that was going to happen. I wasn't exactly doing research and how to improve myself at all, or how to run a business, especially an entertainment business. I wasn't doing anything like that. I was too busy playing video games because I was so tuckered out from working at the sawmill and Walmart all day. I just wanted a fucking break. So how was I going to get to that place I want to be, whatever that may be? I wouldn't be able to fucking tell you. I had no idea how it was going to happen. Might as well have said, it's going to be Poppy, the magical unicorn dog. He's going to come from the sky and grant me a wish from the pixie dust that shoots out of its asshole. So why don't either of us see ourselves in that position anymore, where we're being held down by some mystical force from the people who are in charge and in power? Why don't we see ourselves that way anymore?